Welcome to another episode of North Ninjas Podcast. I am your host, Matt Pierce, joined to me today by my usual co-host, Kevin Tenney. We have, not sure what we actually have to talk about today, as I am back being employed, so my focus has not been on the wide world of sports. Definitely want to get on to the Myles Garrett conversation and all the fallout from that this week, as we had the appeals happen. We might be joined by our friends Brian Willis, Eric Jensen, and anyone else who may be interested in jumping on with us. So we'll see how this goes today. Kevin, how's it going, buddy?
That's going pretty good.
So, like I said, I'm freaking, and I'm back off to work, and I'm going to be on 12-hour shifts, right? Either way, but it's going to be kind of like a split rotation type deal. But during my training for like the next 8 weeks, I'm on 5/12s. And for someone who's basically been going to school and making his own schedule the last couple of years, it has been it's been nice because I don't have Kim and Trev here. So, like, it's been nice to have that to keep my mind off of that fact. Yeah. But it has not been nice, like, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank God I only have a 12-minute drive to work. Because those mornings, those 6, well, I'm supposed to start at 6, but I've been there usually about 5:15 every day.
Yeah.
And it's a kick in the balls some days. Anyways, what's new and exciting in the Tenney clan?
Not much really. I mean, it's just, I just totally went blank on what I was going to say. Not much. I mean, working, getting ready for the holidays. That's about it. I mean, Thanksgiving's next week, but it's like Christmas is right around the corner, so.
Do you guys got big plans for Turkey Day?
Family. That's it. So.
Do you guys all go over to like your mom's, or what do the Tenneys do?
We go to my mom's, and then we go to my dad's. We usually go see her dad. He usually does something. But he is going to Nashville this year, so it's basically going to be my mom's and then my dad's.
Yeah, so usually we, in the past that I've lived in Utah, we would go to, what's it called? We would go to Kim's sister's house. And now, obviously, with me being here, it's going to be a little different. I think I might drive up to Akron and spend the day with my mom. But so Friday is the first day I'm going to be kind of driving the ship, running my own shift by myself. Okay. And I have to go in at noon. But I'm thinking about coming up Thursday and maybe spending the night Thursday night. And then heading back out here early Friday morning, get to work by noon. But yeah, this could be a different year for me. I mean, everything, Christmas, it's all going to be a little bit different. Actually, I'm hoping to go back to Utah for the Christmas part, but overall, just the holidays are going to be a little different than I've been accustomed to since I've been with Kim and Trevor.
Yeah.
And my, it would be trying to decide if I want to put up a Christmas tree just to be a little festive. But like Kim's mom puts up one, but they don't put like a lot of ornaments. Well, they got ornaments, but it's like all white lights.
Yeah.
I want to put some up with a bunch of crazy lights that like, flash and rotate and do weird shit and even like maybe go to music.
Yeah.
So you'd be like dun 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 dun, and the lights just do 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 do. Be awesome. Anyways, so this week we had the appeal for Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns, who, as we found out after we talked last weekend, I supported the suspension of Myles Garrett. It turned out that he was getting shafted by the league as the league once again tries to destroy the Browns from the outside in, getting over punished. Great, it's the greatest punishment of any player ever. You know that, right? Like, that's legit.
Oh, I know that. I mean, it's like the worst on-field thing that's happened.
It's not.
So, I mean,
Richie Incognito got hit. It wasn't. I watched that video.
He wasn't hit. He did not hit him.
Yeah, I think he did hit him.
Then when you read any of the articles, all the articles that I've read, because I was arguing with a guy at work about this week, it says That the suspension was because he swung the helmet. And there was a couple that specifically said if he would have hit him, it would have been more severe of a punishment.
Well, yeah, you could
He
say
didn't
that
hit him.
now. You can say that now. You can go back and go.
These were articles from then when I was looking it up because I was looking at the date. So these were all from when it happened. I watched the videos on it because believe
Well,
me, I
let's
went into a
ignore
deep
that.
dive because this guy was like driving me crazy at work.
Well, what about the fact that there's already a rule in the rule book that covers this?
That's
They're
for on the field.
they're
That's not
over
for
punishing him.
penalties. No, that's for on the field.
It,
And he got it. They followed it on the field, and then there was really nothing wrote for it outside. What the punishment outside of the game was going to be. So they followed it. The rule is the 15 yards and an automatic ejection. That's for on the field. That's in the same list as holding and all that. That wasn't in suspension list. That was for on the field penalties.
here's the thing, and the fact is he's a like this is just it's terrible. And now that we find out that Mason Rudolph maybe dropped the N word,
I don't believe it at all.
of course you don't.
Of course I don't.
Look at your background. Look at the hat you're wearing. Oh, I don't know. Mason
Well,
Rudolph.
look at yours. Of course you're going to believe it. But here's my thing. This is why I don't believe it at all. And it's everything goes against him. He didn't say anything about it after the game. And if you look back in recent history in football or any sport, period, anytime there's any kind of racial thing said on the field, it's the first thing out of that person's mouth is that, I can't think of this year. I don't think there's been one this year. But the other year in the playoffs, Jacksonville against Buffalo, the one defensive tackle for Jaguars got into it with Incognito. After the game, first thing, he was saying racist stuff to me. So it's like every single thing. And it's like, go to baseball. The guys will sit there and they call out, like, I hate playing in Boston because their fans are yelling racial slurs the entire game. I hate playing at New York because they're yelling racial slurs. But one guy the other year was complaining. I don't remember where it was. They were throwing bananas at him from when he was out in the outfield. It's always the first thing said. Even look at basketball. Russell Westbrook, those guys in Utah got banned and got their season tickets taken away. Why? Because Russell Westbrook was yelling at him. It's like, well, why were you yelling at him? They were yelling racial slurs at me. And they're banned from the stadium and banned from buying season tickets. It's always the first thing. So that's strike one. Strike two, when it comes out, he sends out a thing. That was later. So we'll go strike two will be them asking his teammates. No one heard of it. You don't tell one single one of your teammates, especially since you even got a teammate, the guy who lines up beside you, who's the whole time been saying, yeah, he deserved to hit him in the head. The only person that's saying he deserved to hit him in the head with a helmet. And you don't tell that guy that he said it. So that's strike two. Strike three is he sends out his tweet about how he asked if it was going to be whatever he was said was going to stay private in that meeting, wasn't going to come out. And of course, he took it as yes, but it's like, how long have you been in the NFL? How long have you watched the NFL? Anytime there's a hearing, no matter what, they're always, whatever the excuses are or their reasoning for doing stuff, it all gets leaked out or comes out, whatever. So one, you should know it's going to come out. Two, if you're bringing that up, why are you asking about it being private? Like, why do you want to use that as your excuse and it not come out? Because that's just ridiculous. I just think that that's what their excuse was. They were on their way. He was probably talking to his lawyer, and he's like, hey, today's going to go good, right? And his lawyer's like, no, you're fucked. He's like, are you sure nothing else happened on that field? And it's like, no, that's what happened. It's like, are you sure nothing was said? And it's like, no, nothing was said. It's like, yeah, you're fucked. You're going to be suspended the rest of the year, possibly some in the next year. Are you sure nothing was said? Well, maybe I heard. And then it's like, there you go. So the NFL looks into it, and I would like the NFL to come out and be like, this is what we did to investigate it and say what they did. Because they just came out and said they didn't find any evidence to support his thing. And it's like, you find out the referees are mic'd up. Usually 2 to 3 linemen per team are mic'd up. Plus, usually they try to get some of the superstars mic'd up. But unfortunately, Myles Garrett or Rudolph, neither one of those two were mic'd up. But I think they said either DeCastro or Pouncey. One of them was supposed to be mic'd up. I thought I heard them say. So you got players mic'd up on the field. Then you got a bunch of those guys with little satellite dish things on the sideline.
Yeah.
So they got audio picked up from everywhere on that field, and they can pick up almost everything said on that field, and they have no evidence of it being said. So it's like there's so much more things. So it's like, I at least I had respect for him because he's a heck of a player. So I respect him for being a good dirty player. But now it's just like
he's not a dirty player.
He's a dirty player.
He's not a dirty player. One act does not define your career,
you
Kevin.
You can't even say one act.
And he plays aggressively. He plays aggressively. Like for instance, former Steeler James Harrison played aggressively. I would argue that Burfict for a long time, I honestly think a lot of what Burfict did was him playing aggressively. Now, obviously there's been a handful of times where he's went outside of that box.
Like the last 4 years, he went from aggressively to just playing dirty.
But
3-4 years.
There are players who are going to be guys who get a lot of penalties, especially in the namby-pamby league we have now, where you could breathe on a quarterback and get a roughing the passer. Do I think he deserves a majority of those calls? Absolutely, but I'm okay with that because he plays at 110%. That doesn't make him a dirty player.
So, hold on. So here, just from this year, when he got the roughing the passer, when he broke the Simeon's leg, was it Simeon? Whatever Jets quarterback's leg.
It was barely late.
But he didn't have to dive on him, and he dove low. Like that whole thing could have been avoided.
Because you can't go high. You know how you fix that? The league shouldn't have the league trying to enforce this rule, right? Because I get it. You want to protect your players, that you don't want helmet to helmet. So the guys, that's their best way to go is low. It might not be pretty all the time, and you're right.
You're not even allowed to technically go low. That's a penalty too.
Well,
so it's like, so I'm just saying, there's that, and then the one thing that makes me laugh is when they're like, the people are like, I've never seen him act like this, blah blah blah. Like he was overly mad, and yes, I agree, like overly mad and everything. But it's like you can't even say like it's the worst thing he's done, but you can't say you haven't seen him act like that. He's already swung at somebody this year. He's been fined for it. He hit somebody in the head with a fist, like he punched. So it's not like this is really out. Like as far as it went, yes. That's out of the ordinary, but it's not like he hasn't done stupid stuff like this. I mean, you can't just sit there and be like, "Oh, he's never done anything like that before." It's like, well, yeah, no one hits anybody with a fucking helmet, but he's already swung. Well, can't even just say swung because he hit the dude in the helmet, or tried to hit him in the head. He hit him in the head. However you want to put it, he punched him with his helmet on. So it's like he's already done that once this year alone. So it's just like, and I thought if I can't remember for sure, but I thought he swung at someone last year too. I could be wrong, but I do know week 1 for sure because he was fined for it. So I mean, that's there. It's documented.
It's an aggressive game. Like I guarantee you, we could look through every player in this league, especially defensive players, good ones even, and you're gonna see like scuffles and stuff like that. Like I don't think Myles Garrett is above and beyond like more hostile than any other player on defense in the entire league. I think one time, which happened to be on national televised, he went completely ape shit and out of control. And I 100% think that he should have been suspended. Now, after further review, I still argue that he got too much of a punishment. But fine, he's out for the year. It should definitely not go into next year. But I don't think that makes him a dirty player. Like, he's aggressive. Next year, he's going to get a shit ton of rushing the passer penalties. A, because now they're going to be trying to punish him even more. And B, because he is going to have a chip on his shoulder, and the guy plays with ruthless aggression. I don't think that, like, if he was in the NFL 20 years ago, this guy would be a freaking hero to everyone in the sport. But yes, because we're in
different time. And that's the bad thing about it. Because, I mean, with you bringing up Harrison, that's a perfect thing because he went from he was defensive player of the year because of how he plays. And then the following year, he's playing the same exact way. And he just starts getting hammered because it's like, that's when they started to try to make their change. And it's funny because like he had the one hit, the Browns wide receiver, Massaquoi. He blew him up, gave the dude a concussion, but he hit him with his arms. He didn't hit him helmet to helmet or anything. He used his arms and he blew the guy up. And then he got a fine for it. and they were like hammering him about it. Well, then the NFL turned around and they had that picture and they were selling it. So he like called the NFL out on it. It's like, how are you mad at me, finding me for this, saying it's a bad, dirty hit, and then you turn around, you sell it to make money off of it. And of course, like an hour after he said that, that was taken down. You couldn't buy that picture no more. So it's like, it's. I agree. I mean, it's a different time. It's changing. It's
And I'm fine with that, but like I don't think like you're. I think this idea. I think I'm not trying to say what he did was right, but I do think that we're trying to like vilify this guy beyond or more aggressively than we should be, and it frustrates me a little bit. Obviously,
the bad thing is he is a heck of a player, but he is, no matter what he does, this is always going to be with him. He will always be
oh
remembered
yeah,
for this. He could win Defensive Player of the Year. He could somehow break the NFL curse of no defensive player ever winning, the MVP. He could do whatever, and yeah, it's never. They'll sit there and it'll be like, oh, but you remember that one time?
well, honestly, Nick Bosa should break that record this year, but
He should, but it ain't gonna happen.
yeah, no, I know. But no, you're right. Like he will win. I think he will win Defensive Player of the Year at some point, and that's gonna be good. It's gonna be like, oh, Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. You met, and it's instantly gonna be like, this guy's come. Remember when this guy got banned? And look where it's gonna be like. They're gonna try to turn into a positive, right? Where he turned his career around. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's gonna be he. Let's say he gets into the Hall, right? It's going to be something to talk about on that. Like, it's going to be part of everything he's not going to get away from that. It's just now it is part of who he is as a player. He's never going to get out of that. I 100% agree with you there.
Yeah.
I just think I think the league set some bad precedent because I think if I'm correct, I know they flexed it to a 1:00 game, but now it's a 1:00 nationally televised game. If I'm correct,
I don't know about that. I thought it was only local markets it was on, because at 4 it was gonna be the prime time, like Tony Romo and whoever his partner is, we're gonna call it. And I knew they moved it out which is smart to a point, because for one, those guys probably don't want to be a part of that just in case, because tensions are still going to be high for that game. It's just going to be, are they going to be smart enough to hold it in? Because they're going to send out letters that week to both of those teams, and there's going to be so many penalties, and a helmet-to-helmet shot on a tackle that could be just an accident shot. Like I'm going to say 2 players are going to be thrown out of the game, and I'm not going to say like not fighting, nothing like that. It's just going to be a bad tackle or a bad hit, and they're going to want to not take the chance, and they're going to be overprotective or overreactive for that game.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's going to matter. I think we're going to have a lot of penalties in that game. It's going to be super chippy. And if they did move it out of a prime time, then maybe that's a positive for the NFL, because the way I understood it was they were moving it into a prime time. And I don't understand why you want to glorify. Like, it just goes back to what you said with Harrison. Like, they sit here and say all this shit's negative, but then they use it to market the league. And, now we're going to move this to the 1:00 primetime game. It would just be a real shame, in my humble opinion.
I was listening to the Steelers radio program middle of the week after they did it, and that's what they said. They said that they moved it from the 4, because the 4:00 it was going to be the primetime game, and they moved it, and it's only supposed to be local markets.
Well, that makes more sense. I mean, that at least that would be a step in the right direction. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Twitter or not. I'm gonna pop this up on the screen here. Our good friend Brian shared a tweet about a league realignment. Did you see this at all?
Yeah, I was looking at it.
I'm going to pop it up here. Let's share it with the world here. All right. Do you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So I actually think this is awesome. Like, let's break down. Like, if you go into the West here, like, I love how they section this off. Essentially, like, I love the division names. Like, I don't know what you think about this, but I think here's the only thing I hate. Obviously, you're going to lose some rivalry games, but I think you could build those back into the schedule and make it a one-time-a-year game, like Cleveland-Pittsburgh. And there's some other games in there you're going to want to get. But overall, like, I love this. setup. What do you think about it?
It's interesting. My the big thing I don't like about Steelers division is the Browns aren't in it, because the only way you can really get away with putting the Browns, unless it's a preseason game, and then I mean it's preseason, that would suck. Is if they would go to the 17 game schedule, because then you're gonna have that one oddball game. So if they would go to 17 and do this, then as long as the Browns were our one game, then I'd be better with it. I'd be fine with it. But it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's what
set up.
And I think that's what you do, though. I think you set up every year like that. That one game would be like your out of whatever, out of division, whatever major old time rival. So we'd play you guys every year that game. I don't know. I just look at these like I love Cleveland's because it's kind of all. Think about for travel. All those teams are in close proximity. Like you look at the Central, and I love the idea of Cleveland being back in the AFC Central or the Eastern, whatever you call it, right?
I mean, if you're the Colts, you're happy as hell because you have 3 shitty teams in your conference.
Oh, come on! Here's the thing: like Cleveland is on the upswing. Like if they lose tomorrow, I'd be extremely disappointed. But like,
hey, they've been playing good. I mean, they're trying to get their coach fired.
That game next week could be very important for Cleveland.
Yes,
because it could be getting us back to 500. Obviously, I think the division's out of reach, unless like Lamar Jackson breaks his leg. Not that we're hoping for that, but if he were to break his leg, Cleveland could make a run. But still, there's a wild card possibility. They're not mathematically eliminated yet. So all those wins will count. Plus, next week, what a time to have us playing 2 weeks apart from one another.
I bet you this is the last time they do that in scheduling. Any kind of rivalry game, and someone brings that up or they show it, they'll be like, yeah, no. Cleveland Pittsburgh showed us why that was a really bad idea. And it took 8 seconds to do.
But even like I love like some of these like where you're basically you're mixing some of these AFC, you're mixing the NFC and the AFC teams together now. Like I even like that Mid Atlantic division with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Redskins, and the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Like I don't see one of these divisions that I hate. Even look at the Midwest with the basically the old NFC North. Most of those teams stay the same, but you put in the Chiefs. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's nothing I don't love about this. And
I mean, it's like I said, it's definitely interesting.
And I think it's time to shake up the league a little bit.
Like I said, it'd be different. I'm just so used to, we've had our division for so long.
Yeah.
Brown Steelers, I'm pretty sure have always been in the same division. And then just figure, 2 of those extra teams that have joined over the years have been because the Browns are stupid. One they left and the other they fired the guy.
Yeah, he got pissed off.
Yeah,
I know I live kind of in Bengal country. I didn't anticipate that when I moved here. But I've been having a lot of battles. Like one of the other supervisors that I've been training with.
Yeah.
He's a diehard Bengal fan. And he's like, yeah. The Bengals this. And I'm like, listen, just remember that you guys are kind of like the bastard children of the Browns. You would never even existed if Art Modell wasn't a scumbag. Like that's the reason why you stole our color scheme essentially. Oh wait, you did throw black in there. Throw us off a little bit. But let's be honest. Yeah, it's been fun. Except for seeing all the Bengal shit in stores. It is nice being back in Buckeye land, like hardcore Buckeye fans down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it down here actually. It's growing on me quite quickly. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing fun to do here. It's like 45 minutes to go to the movies. I think I'm going to start playing pool because that seems like, from what I hear, that's kind of what people do down here. They go to the bars and play pool.
That's good.
So I might try to learn how to play pool. I mean, I know how to play pool, but I'm not like good at it by any sense.
Yeah.
But it might be a fun little change just to kind of interact with other people down here.
I've always loved playing pool. I was in the league until we had Winnie. Then I just haven't had time to get back into it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it. I mean, like I said, there's just not a whole lot else to do. I was actually supposed to go up to Akron tonight to do a podcast. We'll record something with my friend Nikki, but then she decided she hated fat people and canceled on me. At least that's what I'm saying. Truthfully, she's got a boo boo and can't hang out. But I'm saying it's because she hates fat people. I'm sticking to that argument. Make her feel bad. Ugh, which is probably, I mean, at the end of the day, probably with all the hours I worked this week, it would have been a long drive today, but I was looking forward to hanging out with her, my friend James, and some old Akron hookups buddies.
Yeah.
I watched, did I tell you I watched that Ferrari versus,
Ford.
Yeah. It's a fucking pretty good movie, actually. Matt Damon and Christian Bale are pretty awesome in that movie.
I'm about to say I want to see it. I haven't had time to go to the movies or anything. Miranda took Winnie Thursday to see Frozen.
Oh yeah.
So Winnie was pretty excited.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw that on the old Facebook stream.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to watch. I will start watching Rambo: Last Blood, even though I've never seen any other Rambo.
Yeah, I'm about like an hour in. I gotta finish it. They came home. I was watching it today. Then they came home, and obviously can't watch Rambo in front of Winnie. So.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the other Rambos, but I figure I'd give it a try. And then what else? I started watching The Joker.
I really liked that. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I just time and I find other stuff I'd rather watch instead. It's not one movie that I have to see. What did I just?
You should make it. You have to see it. I mean, it's definitely worth it.
Really? What did I just watch that was really good? Oh fucking dude! I've been watching so much TV without. That's all I do. I go to work. I come home. I got a little chore chart I made for myself. So I do a couple of those, knock off my chores for the day, so I can keep my house orderly, and then I'll watch an hour. I'm in bed, dude. I'm super old guy now. I'm in bed by 9:30 every night. But I get up at 3:45.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm old man. If there was trick or treating, if I'd got here, I'd have been in bed before it was time to trick or treat, I imagine. Of course, now kids have to trick or treat in daytime because the world's broken.
It depends where you're at. I mean, ours is still 6 to 8. So.
Oh, see, that's a rarity, really.
Yeah, I know. You see, most of them around here still do it on Halloween night, but there's a couple that do it Saturday afternoon or whatever. So. There are a couple oddballs around here.
Kills me. I remember we'd start at 8 o'clock at night, maybe 7, but it would be right when the sun was getting ready to go down. But by the time you were a half hour in, it was dark as shit, and you could totally you could get kidnapped, run over by another car. We didn't have safety lights or anything like that. It was a murderer's row. And we were walking we didn't have the parenting wasn't that great. We pretty much ran amok. So half the time my mom didn't know where I was. So if I was to get murdered, she wouldn't even know where to come claim my body at. And now it's the sun, noon. They're all right, trick or treat, kids. And you got trick or treat buddies, and they all got cameras and GPSs and.
And that ain't nothing. This year it rained here on Halloween, and people were going crazy because they wanted it changed because they didn't want to take their kids out in the rain. I'm just what? It's I remember there was a couple of times I went trick or treating when I was a kid and it fucking snowed.
Yeah, this is the children of today are weak in general.
Yes.
I was having this conversation with actually it was back when I was still in Salt Lake because I was Ubering. And I found this person who quite possibly is my hero. The Grizzlies are keeping up with the Lakers today. But we just basically bonded over how how broken today's children are, and then I got into telling them, and they agreed that it's really our own fault. Like, and actually, you're in a great position to change this. Be part of the generation to change this now that you're having kids. Is like we raised like I'm actually partly to blame, even though I didn't really raise Kaylee so much. But I feel like Kaylee's mom's definitely to blame. Like we raise these kids to like be little pusses. Excuse my language, but like there's no like. They have no structure. They don't hear no because you can't say no because that's a bad word to kids. Shuts them down.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, and this completely just hit me from the left side. You should watch this series called Working Moms. I know it doesn't sound like a series that you would probably want to watch, hence the title, but it's hilarious.
Is that a Canadian show?
Yeah. It's
Orlando's watching it. I caught bits and pieces of it. It was interesting from what I saw.
It's on Netflix, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, Miranda likes it a lot.
Yeah, Netflix is my spot. Got some Atypical, just power through
love that show. I'm behind. I saw the first season. I really like the first season. I just haven't had time to watch the other ones. I've been too many other shows I started watching.
Yeah. I could get locked up in some shows. Right now, if you guys watch Prodigal Son at all?
No.
You should check that show out. I think you'd really like it.
Okay.
It's on.
That's the one on Fox, right?
Yeah, and it's got the guy from Walking Dead who played Jesus. I don't know if you guys are Walking Dead fans.
I never watched Walking Dead.
Oh, well, Kim's a fanatic. There's this guy on there. His name was Jesus, and but he's like the main character in this show. Really, I think it's a really phenomenal show. But he's kind of one of those asshole characters that Kim says that I love so much, which I kind of do love asshole characters. Like House. I loved House. I thought he was one of the best characters on TV.
Yeah.
And this guy's very House-esque. Or like Blue Collar. That was a good show back in the day.
I don't remember that one.
And then Kim and I got into Grey's Anatomy one weekend, and now I'm loving that show. Yeah. I watch too much TV, I think is the point I'm trying to get to here.
I used to. Now I just don't have time to. That's why it makes it so hard. Like, I know a lot of times when shows come off that I like, especially on Netflix and stuff like that, it's like it's easy because they're all out. So it's like I try to, but it's like I'm always so freaking something's going on, and it's like, but Jack Ryan came out the other week, and I did everything I could, and I was staying up later than I should, especially with Uriah deciding he was going to wake up and want fed in the middle of the night. So I was like, oh, so it was pretty rough, like 2 weeks, but I finally finished that. Luckily, it's only 8 episodes, but it took me forever to freaking watch 8 episodes.
Did you watch the last season of The Ranch?
The latest one they had come out. Yeah, I saw that. I'm all up to date on that.
I'm gonna be sad when that show's gone.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. And it's like I haven't read anything about it, but I hope they bring back Hyde for that last season. Like, you gotta bring him back. Like, it's not bad, but it's just like you're missing something without him there.
Yeah, like I'm a huge Dax Shepard fan, and he's okay in that show, but yeah, Rooster was awesome.
Yeah. So I'm hoping they'll just be like, we're gonna take some blowback, but it's 10 episodes. Fuck it, they'll get over it.
Yeah, because it's the last season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna suck. Like, all the shows I like are like Lucifer's gonna be on its last season.
I know, and that's the worst part. The bad thing about that is that with Netflix, like when it was on Fox, it was like a 22 episode season. Now it's on Netflix and it's like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have one more season. It's like, that's not even a season.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, it's such a good show.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I love a lot of those shows.
How about Lucifer? Like, I really liked it, and I was looking into the guy that plays Lucifer. How about his family? All of his family, well, his, like, mom and dad and, like, sister, whatever, like, that immediate family.
Yeah.
They're all preachers.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of funny. Well, so he knows all the stories. So
yeah.
He can get into the character.
He definitely, he knows how big of the bad guy he is.
But I'd argue, like, I think that show even kind of argues that, is he really a bad guy? Like, he doesn't lie. Like, he's doing a job. His job is to punish people in hell. No one said he liked it.
Well, I mean, the show's not like sticking to like the whole story
Sure.
of the
No,
devil.
like, yeah,
So,
sure.
I mean, like,
It's fictional and it's like strongly doesn't like stick to like the writings. But I'm saying I think
I'm not talking about like Bible story. I'm just talking about like they're explaining how Lucifer is. Like, he's a bad person. He lies. He does what he does.
But he
to try
doesn't
to
lie.
Make you in the show. He doesn't. But in the Bible and stuff, he tells you stuff to make you do bad stuff. Like, he lies to you. He persuades you.
But
to
maybe
do
the
bad
Bible's
stuff.
wrong, is what I'm saying. Maybe the Bible's
No,
wrong.
the show is not following with the story of the devil in the Bible.
But what I'm saying is, right, like, it's a competitive narrative. Like, maybe the show
Okay.
is like this is how he really is. He's just given a bad rap in the Bible because somebody didn't like him back in the day, so they wrote a lot of bad stuff about him. Listen, it's obviously Trump has shown us from his opinion that it happens to him all the time too. Maybe the devil just was dealing with some fake news back in the pre situation.
Uh-huh.
Some fake news back there in the Garden of Eve.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure fake news wasn't around yet. So
Fake news has always been around. That's my new belief. Fake news has forever been around. Yep, I said it.
I know you did.
The devil doesn't lie. Maybe he's not allowed to lie. Maybe there's a rule there. Just go back and read the Bible. That'd be interesting. That'd give me something to do to kill time. Oh,
That's funny.
my
gosh.
I'm such a broken individual. I really don't know what else I have today. I was just looking. I was watching. I am looking forward to some wrestling tomorrow, even though I think it's gonna be terrible.
Survivor Series?
Yeah. Problem is AEW has ruined me because AEW is not perfect. It's got its problems, and WWE proved something to me this week. The WWE essentially had the exact same show 3 days in a row to prep for Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Lakers are down by 2 now. But AEW, as flawed as it is sometimes, like, it's fresh. Like, they're trying to do good things. And it's fun to watch because you don't know what's going to happen. WWE's just become too predictable for me. I mean, I think it was already too predictable, but having an alternative of something fresh where they're not like scripted 24, like every line of their words aren't scripted.
Yeah.
Makes it way more interesting for me. But I'll watch because, well, I'm a hippie who loves wrestling, and that's what I'll do tomorrow. And hopefully won't be upset that the Browns lost. Hopefully I actually win some daily fantasy. Daily fantasy are killing me. Here's the thing, I play one on FanDuel, right? And then I play one on DraftKings. And they're all with like people. The one's like the one from the guy from our group chat, that the Riot. He does the invites every week.
Okay.
I do that one, but every time, like, half my team plays great on one, right? And then on my other one, half that team plays great. If I can merge them together, like, be smart enough to get a roster, merge them all together, I'd be dominating. But I pretty much suck every week.
It happened.
Oh, I'm sick of it.
I've had my couple weeks where I've won. I haven't won anything over 75 cents, but I'm only playing like the quarter games anyway, so.
They have quarter games? I didn't even know they had games that low.
On DraftKings, yeah. Shit, they even have 10-cent games. I found out the other day.
Really? Let me just check those out. I want to, I just want to win the $1 million once. Just want to be a big one so I can be debt free. I can sit down here and get old making yogurt, not have to worry about having any debt, buy a decent little house, get Kim and Trevor out here, make yogurt till I die. It's actually weird. Like, I don't know if like yogurt just makes people happy or if like my company is just a really good company to work for, but people are pretty fucking happy out there, except for like 2 people who I just think are like ready to retire. But overall, like, people are pretty happy to be out there. Like, I don't see a lot of like people like being like, "This is the worst fucking place ever." Overall, people are pretty like unusually happy.
That's good.
Yeah, it's kind of scary though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I don't know, do they put something in the yogurt to like make you like a Stepford wife, and you're like, "Oh, I love making yogurt. It's my favorite thing." These are the questions we asked ourselves. What else you got for today, Kevin?
What do you think of? We'll get to where I want to go. But did you see? I don't know if you ever watched First Take, but they
I watch it
had T.O.
occasionally.
Did you see when they had T.O. on this week? Oh shit! Stephen A. came out Saturday night and was saying how he the whole Kaepernick thing was just a joke. Like, he doesn't even want to play. He just wanted to have a press conference.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Okay, so he's been getting a lot of flack. Well, T.O. wanted to be on the show because of that. So they were going back and forth like normal First Take when they have a guest on. And luckily he wasn't there. He was like on a video thing or whatever.
Oh, we got it right here.
And he sits there and he tells Stephen A. He's like, I think Max
you can run a marathon.
He's blacker than you are. On live First Take, he tells him that his white co-host is blacker than he is.
All right, hold on. I want to listen to this real quick.
2 black men are up here. In your case, you're defending Colin Kaepernick now. In my case, I've defended Colin Kaepernick on numerous occasions throughout the years. I'm talking about the Mike Wilbons, the James Browns, and everybody in between. Black folks all over the country, all in the media. Everybody speaking up on behalf of Colin Kaepernick. But Colin Kaepernick. You the one person that don't have anything to say. You step aside while brothers and sisters who know that you were right to want to address police brutality, who know that you were right to want to address racial oppression, who know that you were right when you say that you didn't deserve to be blackballed and you didn't deserve to have your cause politicized. All of us are fighting on behalf of you, but you are the one that won't speak up for yourself. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I think the thing is, in the black community, like I said, I'm in the streets. I hear what's going on.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And the thing is I think, Stephen A., you have a platform. It's okay to disagree, but it was the way you were going about it. It was almost like you were attacking him. And I think the thing with Colin Kaepernick and the way that things shifted right at the doorstep of this workout is just the transparency. You alluded to the document. As that related, I mean, as I was referring to it with the document, the waiver, again, like I said, when you insert language into something that's not standard, then obviously you have to take time to review those documents. And like I said, they weren't given adequate time to do that. And so to now insert that and then think that he was going to sign it right at the door front, then that's not fair. You giving him, if you're going to give him a fair workout, then give him a fair workout. He was allowed no media access. They were trying to dictate who his receivers were.
I have to stop you there. I have to stop you there. I am on the air right now listening.
I've kind of lost respect for Stephen A. Not because of this.
I believe has had
but he's just, I don't know, since he got paid, he's become kind of a
to highlight unfairness that has been exacted from him.
He acts the same way.
Did that stop you
from
accepting the challenge, knowing that you were walking into situations that were flagrantly unfair, that you were operating behind the 8 ball?
He already looks pissed off. Like, he came on here upset, looks like.
And an entity that obviously had a lot of power and influence to compromise whatever your aspirations were. You do it, I do it. There are people that sit up there. You ain't the only one that accused me of attacking him. I would ask you to recall what I said. What I said is that I have been supporting this man. What I didn't support was you sending, not you, meaning him, sending the message that everything has to be ideal and everything has to be fair in order for me to embrace the challenge to acquire what I have been behind the scenes through my camp telling everybody I want. If you don't want to work out, that's fine. If you think it's unfair and you want, and I know Max, you want to get in, I'm going to bring you in.
Yeah.
And you don't think it's fair, that's fine. And you want to get your lawyer, and your lawyer wants to stand up there and say, this waiver is an issue. We're ready to work out, but not until they alter this waiver, etc. That's different. But to not do the workout, to change locations, and then to go and give a speech to the media without taking any questions, any inquiry as to what's really going on, you are leaving others to surmise what the hell happened.
Can I
and I
answer
don't
that
think
real
that's
quick?
fair.
Tio, do you mind if I jump in, Tio?
Yes, before you do that, but
Go ahead,
what
go.
I wanted is transparency, Stephen A. And that's like I've done it. I've had incidents throughout the course of my career, and then there have been times where I've gone into interviews where I've done an hour and a half, 2 hours of an interview, and then they break down and they edit, and then you guys get on the show, and there's a panel of people, and then they break down whatever clips that they show. They're not showing the entire hour and a half or 2 hours of that interview that I've done. So what he wanted was transparency for people to see the full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max
exactly
is
what
going
I
to get in
said.
here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, with his commentary.
Time out. With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to check you right now. You done crossed the line.
I'm just saying.
Time out. Wait a minute. You done crossed the line. First of all, like I said, you, Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, any of y'all that want to debate
think
me
Max
in front of
Kellerman's
black
a bit
people and talk about
uncomfortable
what's
here?
best for black people,
Oh, extremely.
name the time and place, I'll show up. I don't want to hear, what's the definition of blackness? Is there a definitive definition of blackness? Why are you giving the impression that because I don't march lockstep with every single thing that Colin Kaepernick wants? Okay, excuse me. Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm not agreeing.
Wait a minute.
I'm not
Hold
agreeing
on,
with
Tio,
everything that Colin Kaepernick has done.
I'm not saying that, but you said,
Okay.
you just sat up there and used an expression, more blacker. Excuse me, I'm from Hollis, Queens, New York City.
More black.
You ain't the only brother out there that's in the streets. I'm in the streets every day.
I get it.
And I'm a matter. So let's be very clear. And you damn well know that's the truth. And so my point to you is this. Again, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to go that route. But based on just what you just said, this is supposedly Stephen A. and T.O. going at one another. Did you know that I invited Colin Kaepernick to give him this platform for the entire 2 hours? I said you can edit the damn show. You can have it live. We can talk whatever you want to talk. The floor is yours. I also gave that invitation to Eric Reed. I know people at other networks that has given Colin Kaepernick that same thing. They disagreed with him to some degree. Are you questioning their blackness too? Come on, man. There's certain things that's
Like I
crossing
said,
the line.
Dude, I mean, you're taking it as disrespect. There's no disrespect.
There's no disrespect to that?
No, dude. It's tongue in cheek, but at the same time, like I said, I'm in the streets. Like I said, I hear
And
what's
am I.
going on. And as I said, you don't have to agree. I don't totally agree with some of the things as I texted you the other day. He could have articulated or expressed his thoughts better than he did in the interview.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to
I wish I would
download
have watched that one live.
Yeah, I love how he's like, it was like tongue in cheek. It's like, I didn't mean disrespect by it. I just called your white co-host blacker than you, but I didn't mean disrespect by it. It's like, how did you think? Like, I understand. I've always thought Theo was stupid, but it's like, come on now. It's like, can't be that stupid.
Yeah,
But
he's
hey, I guess I was wrong.
definitely not the smartest guy.
But no, the more that it's went on this week and stuff came out about that, I'm like, it was just a shit show like I thought it was going to be on his part.
He got robbed.
He got robbed. He screwed himself. So that's the funny thing. He didn't want to sign that because they have in there that basically the only thing different from the normal workout paper that they have to sign. And I mean, Stephen A even had a copy of the original one he signed from his workout or combine, whatever it was, and then the new one was that basically if it didn't go good or if he got hurt, it was like a workers' comp thing. So if he got hurt, they couldn't sue him if he got hurt at the workout. And there's another part to that thing about like something about not being sued, which makes sense. I mean, he's already sued you once, so
Well-
it's understandable to put that in there because I mean, you obviously think you're trying to be nice, supposedly.
Well,
And-
why wouldn't they let him pick his own receivers?
Whenever there's a held workout, I'm pretty positive you don't get to pick your own stuff.
Oh yeah, you don't think Baker had his own wide receivers for his workouts?
Not if he had his own, like if he had his pro day, that was different because he was at his school. But when the Browns brought him in, if he did a workout for the Browns, no, they probably used their guys.
I'm gonna Google it.
That's fine. I'm just saying, your pro day, yes, you pick your guys. Well, you only really, they're on your team because you have to use your players that are coming out in the draft. You can't use underclassmen or anything like that. But so you got that. But if you get called in for a workout, you got to use the team's people. So like if the Steelers want to sign a wide receiver during the season, they bring him in for a quick workout. They're not letting him bring his own guys. And besides the fact, from what they were saying also about his workout, he ran it the way he wanted to. He didn't do anything to show what you would have to do at a workout. He just dropped back and threw. They were saying like there was no people that were doing like a simulated rush. He didn't do any kind of play action stuff. He didn't do any running. He didn't do any like a 40-yard dash. He didn't do anything like that. All he would do is take like 3 or 5 step drops and throw the ball. And then he went and he did his little speech, which it's like, one, you pissed everybody off already because you moved it. So you went from 25 teams to 8 teams. So, that's, a big thing. Then you're wearing your shirt to make your point. Kinte
shirt.
Yeah, there you go. So you're wearing that shirt. And then you do this press conference and you go on and you're like, don't be scared. Stop running, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, if anybody was interested in signing you, I'm pretty sure he eliminated that with that alone. So my thing is, like, is he going to try to sue himself when no one signs him?
No,
or is he going to try to sue the high school?
I think that the fact is he's not getting back in the league because the league blackballed him and shafted him. But it's really disappointing that the league would take that stance. But I mean, he's not getting back in. It's not coming back. It's just a joke.
If he might have had a chance, because supposedly I can't remember what I was watching or what I was reading. I don't know. I've watched so much stuff in the last week and a half. What was it? Supposedly, one of the teams that had real interest in him was the Atlanta Falcons. They were interested in him, and that was one of the reasons, supposedly, why it was held at the Atlanta facility and everything like that. And then when he moved it, Atlanta didn't go. Like, they were there in Atlanta to watch it, but when he moved it, they didn't go.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think he's getting back in. And it's a shame.
Oh, no.
'Cause
And now, definitely. And that's the thing. If you have people that are actually interested, and then you go and do that, like, he's going to blame somebody. I mean, everybody already knows that. That's how he is. And it's just like, he did it to himself this time, And it's like, all this stuff, like certain things that he wanted, it was just like, really? Like, come on. Like, Pat McAfee put it the best way when he talked about it. He was like, he's like, he just wished that this one time he would have just sucked it up. He's like, whether or not it was stacked against him or not, just play by the game. Do it their way, so then he would have no, people couldn't blame him. If it didn't go, be like, well, I did what they wanted. I did this, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but now as soon as he moved it and did all that stuff, he's like, it takes all the blame off the NFL and it's all on him.
Yeah, he's all right, I just pulled up his stats here. 'Cause I hate the internet. I remember when I thought the internet was this great thing.
What are you looking up?
I was looking up his stats from his last year. Just from his last year? No. Did they make the playoffs his last year?
No. His last 2 years, like number wise.
What was the year last year he played? 2016?
Yeah. Yeah, I got him right here. Like, what do you want to know?
Where are they?
I just typed in Colin Kaepernick stats.
For 2016?
I just typed in Colin Kaepernick stats. It's got his whole career.
Okay, what was his 2016? What was his last year's stats?
2016. Completion percentage was 59.2.
Oh, yeah, I see this now.
22.41 for yards, 16 TDs, 4 interceptions.
That's pretty good numbers.
Well, he had 4 interceptions and the one game. But here's the big number. He was 1-10. But that's what they look. You want to get a quarterback that's going to win.
But there's a lot that goes into that. If you're looking at his numbers, you can't say he was the reason they lost completely. Now, I could see if he had 12 interceptions to those 16 touchdowns.
Well, 1-10, and then the year before that, he was 2-6.
He was hurt. But he was hurt before that.
No, he missed the end of the year.
Yeah, but he was probably hurt the whole year, right?
Well, I mean,
most of these guys play hurt.
Most of them, yes.
Unless you're gonna be like, oh, Kaepernick wouldn't play hurt.
No,
I don't know.
He's a pussy, so no, he would probably.
Yeah, I know. I gotta watch what I say at work because it turns out I work at everyone I work with is super Republican and super gun happy, and yeah, I'm pretty much never gonna tell anybody that I work with my views because I'm probably gonna get fired or disposed of. But yeah, I listened to him talk all day long, and they're like, like the one guy was like saying how he's gonna become a Browns fan if the Bengals sign Cap, and I just wanted to be like, I think Cap would be a good signing for you guys.
I know they're already losing, so I mean, he wouldn't. It's not like he's gonna change anything. So,
and then they're like all super Trump happy, like it's. I know, like, Ohio's like a Republican new state overall, and I kind of knew that when I left, and I knew I came from Utah, which is the most conservative place I've ever lived in my life.
Yeah.
But these guys, like, I don't know, at least in Utah I don't have to hear about it all the time. These guys are all about it. Some of the conversations. So I'm like, I'm just going to, like, get my foot in the door here before I start saying anything. Because I don't want to get murdered.
I don't know if you get murdered. They'd probably make fun of you.
Oh, no, they would give me all kinds of grief.
Especially if they knew, like, you were going to school, you didn't have a job. You know, they just sit there and be like, well, aren't you happy that he got the unemployment rate down? Jobs are out there.
Oh, yeah, it would be bad. Like, there's this one guy. He does, like, they got like a family farm. And he was talking about something about farming and the cost of farming. And I was like, so badly wanted to be like, if Trump didn't have the stupid tariffs, you'd be getting dicked over with all these higher costs of things. But I kept my mouth shut because I'm pretty sure he can murder me with a bale of hay.
Hey, speaking of the tariffs, he just reminded me of my other thing. I don't know if you saw, but earlier in the week, I saw scrolling at the bottom that the House or the Senate something, they passed a bill or signed a bill. They did something where it says how they support Hong Kong in the protest, and China, of course, got pissed off about that. So now with them doing that, does LeBron need to apologize to the Rockets GM for saying he didn't know what he was talking about and he should keep his mouth shut?
Yeah, LeBron made himself look really bad in that situation.
Oh yeah, trying to be Mr. Political, and then
I don't think there's anything wrong being political. I
agree, but I'm just saying with him taking that stance that he has in the past, and when this political thing comes up, and it's like, do I go with the way it should be or protect my money? And he protected his money.
Yeah, he definitely put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah,
definitely looked like a bit of a hypocrite, which is kind of sad. Yeah. There's no excuse for what he said or how he said. It's just I don't understand it. Well, yeah, that's kind of what you get when, like, yeah, he put his money over everything else. I do appreciate how the NBA kind of stood up for the Rockets guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty good. Surprising too, because they lost a shit ton of money. Something like $1 billion are anticipating the league lost for that.
Yeah, and that's just of now. You know, who knows? I don't know, or was that like for the long term?
I think I don't know if it was like immediate, but definitely it was a number thrown out. Even if it's for a long period, it's still a lot of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know they're super rich, but still $1 billion, that's a lot of money to just piss away.
Yeah.
But they did the right thing, and I honestly don't even know if the NFL would have done the right thing. The NFL likes to protect that dollar just as much as anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hence why my Myles Garrett got screwed over.
Sure.
I would like, obviously we'll never be able to know, but I would love to have seen what that suspension would have looked like if it was not a nationally televised game.
Yeah, it would have been interesting.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. How did Pouncey's suspension get knocked down?
Because fighting
He kicked the guy in the head, Kevin, repeatedly.
That's why he basically got 2 games, though. Because fighting, the most the fighting suspension has been 1 game. And then when him kicking, that went up to 3. And then, what was it? And then I figured it was going to get reduced because I was like, 1 game isn't enough. I figured 2 for Pouncey is what I guess in the beginning, and also weighed on it that they don't want him playing in the Browns game. So when they reduced it, I was like, they're only going to reduce it to 2, which is what they did.
I don't know.
And besides the fact he went like that because he saw his quarterback get blasted in the head. But and the funny thing is, as much as I watched it,
I don't care. Like, defending your team member is not an acceptable reason to boot somebody else in the head.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I mean that's why he acted the way he did. So, well, that's probably why they put, they took that into account. I'm guessing. I don't know, but after watching, I had to watch it a bunch of more times the other night because the one guy at work, and he, what was it? And the thing is, if you watch the video, all right, because he kept trying to give me this whole, his reasoning was completely stupid, but. He kept saying how he didn't even know he was swinging that root off because he was getting pushed back and he was looking up because he was falling. And I'm like, dude, have you watched the video or you just hate the Steelers? Because he hates the Steelers. He's a Dolphins fan, but he hates the Steelers. So of course, he goes above and beyond. He's one of those, like how you have your crazy Brown stuff. Like he's like that way for the Steelers, but in all the bad. So he kept going all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, you got to watch the video. And he's like, oh, you're just a homer. So I was like, all right. So I watched it, and I kept going through different ones. I knew they had a couple different angles. So I kept trying to see all the angles because they kept saying he kept doing the whole self-defense. He got kicked in the balls, blah, 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 punched in the balls. So I'm like, all right. So I'm watching it and watched it a bunch the other night because Miranda got on so when he could watch it Friday morning. And she's like, how many of these videos did you watch? And I'm like, oh, it was a while. It was like an hour I spent watching fucking videos, trying to find the right ones. But, sorry. What was it? With the kicking in the balls, if you watch the video, because it's bad, because it's hard on some, because they try to point it out, that's why he did it. And it's so they just zoom in. And it's so you see it, and you're kind of like, all right, it's possible. But when you zoom out, the one that makes it look like he really did, but it was his shin, so it's that's kind of weird. But when they zoom out, it's oh, that is exactly the first time where it supposedly happens is when Garrett is lifting him off the ground. So he picks him up whole body off the ground by his face mask. That just shows you what kind of beast he is. For one, to pick up a guy by his face mask alone and completely pull him off of the ground. So it's he's crouched down, and when he pulls him up, his whole body goes up, so his legs go up. It wasn't you can tell it's not a kick. He is getting lifted off the ground. And whether it hits him or not, no idea, but he didn't kick him. Then the second one, his leg goes up when he's trying to push him off. And it's like, so the one angle, you can see like his heel going at an angle, but it's like that way. But when you see it from the back view that they show, his toes are coming off of the hip. So you can see, like, by putting those two together, like, his foot is on his thigh. So the only way he's kicking him in his balls if his dick goes to his knee. And if that's the case, then it's his own fault because he doesn't have a jock strap on, because it's on his fucking thigh. He's not kicking him in the balls. And then it's like where they have the picture where it's like, oh, look, he's grabbing his balls. It's like when you watch the video, his arm is stuck underneath of the Castro's arms. Like, he's not anywhere near his balls. It's just a perfectly timed picture. And then he's watching Garrett is watching Rudolph when he gets up, walks around. You can see his head move. He's following him, and then he swings and he hits him. And then when you're watching it, because after that, that's when he starts falling back, because that's when the Castro really starts to go. He's back swinging. He's going for a second swing to hit him. And if that would have connected, if he wouldn't have been being pushed back, like, that's the crown of the helmet that was coming. But Pouncey, like, intercepted the helmet and just started swinging away. So Pouncey got hit by it when he was coming in, but it was in the chest. So it wasn't like, hit him in the head or anything crazy like that. So it's like he was taking a second swing at him. And of course, like, he came and he started blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I watched the video. Spent an hour going through a million different ones. And I was like, you need to sit there and watch the fucking video and just shut up. And then he's like, so he went from that, finally left me alone about that. But then he's like, isn't it kind of funny how the NFL doesn't have any audio of what was said on the field? And I'm like, they came out and they said they investigated it and they didn't find any evidence to prove it. And he's like, yeah, they have no audio. And I'm like, yeah, that's their way of saying he didn't say it. Like, they're not saying they don't have video or audio. They say they investigated. That's what they're saying. So that's what I'm going by. It's like, could they not have looked through it? It's possible. I mean, look at the whole Ray Rice thing. They had the video sitting on the desk and they're like, yeah, 2 games, that's good. And then the video comes out and they're like, we never saw it. It's like, yeah, it's been on your desk for like 6 months, buddy. So it's like, that could be the NFL. Perfectly, I agree. I understand that. But it's like, they came out and they said they have no evidence to prove it. So that doesn't mean they didn't have audio for it. They're just trying to put it nicely that we think he's lying because there's no proof of that being said.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was so pissed. He's like, no, that means that they didn't record it. And I'm like, no, they recorded it. Like, yeah, it's just bad. Because then he starts the whole Homer thing, and I'm like, hey, I was like, I'll put it this way to you. My one buddy at work, he's a black guy, and he texted me because I was gonna ask him. He had surgery, so he's not at work right now. So I was gonna text him and be like, hey, what do you think of what Garrett said? But I was like, that's really not a tweet or a texting kind of thing. I was like, I'll wait till he comes back to work. But he texted me and he's like, I am so pissed at Garrett. He's like, him using the race card, blah, blah, blah. So he was going, like, he thinks he's lying too. And we're friends, but by the way he talks, like, he thinks every white person is racist. So for him not to agree with Garrett, I'm just kind of like, I was shocked more than anything. But I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't feel bad for thinking he's lying too now.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll never know, right? Like, sadly.
Yeah, because I mean, unless he's dumb enough to sit there and be like, I lied. That's
that would be terrible.
Because Rudolph's never gonna say one way or the other. Like, he's already said he didn't do it. He's sticking to that, obviously. But yeah, the only way you're gonna find out is if either, because I mean, right now you got he said. So the only way you're gonna find out is if Garrett comes out and he's like, yeah, I used that as my excuse. I lied. Only way you're ever going to find out.
And that would be career suicide. I mean, maybe not on the field, but off the field. It would be character suicide. Like, there's just...
And that's the thing. With him saying that, I mean, I know it's hard to prove, unless there's a way, obviously, unless they would have caught it on video, audio, But it's like, you come out and you say that. And, like, with me thinking, with everything that's gone on up till that and him saying that, like, those are my reasons I don't believe him. Like, you just put so much crap on him, and that's the like society we live in. Like, that's, you can't, no one ever owns up to anything. It's always that person's racist or that person did this. Like, it's always some excuse that's gonna stick with Rudolph for the rest of his career. now, because it's like, whether or not, like, obviously there's gonna be people believe him. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, yeah, I knew he was racist, so it's like that's gonna stick with him, and throwing that out there, and that's what makes it even worse, especially if he is lying about this and he throws that out there. Like, it's like, what you just did to that guy. It's like, are you trying to take some of the blame off of you? Because, like, that's what someone was trying to say, like, ESPN